I scare you? Oh, I didn't mean to frighten you prematurely. Hey there you guys, Shaun Allen here. Welcome to Disneyland at Home. As you can see, I am at my place because I'm not at Disneyland. I thought for today's episode we'd look at issue 2 of the Haunted Mansion comic book series released by Disney Kingdoms. As you all know, I am a big comic book fan. In fact, I'm a comic book nerd. I literally have over 500 issues of comics, which is insane. I'm really excited about this one because issue 2 is out, and since Disney doesn't seem to have a problem with me recording episode 1, I'm going to do another one. So, very quickly, I just want to mention that recently I got to participate in an event called Free Comic Book Day at the comic book store in Northridge. It's called Earth 2 Comics, and basically what it is that they sell, not really sell, but give out free comic books. Now, what's the whole point of Free Day Comics? Free Comic Book Day. Sorry, the words just get jumbled a lot. But what it is basically a day where you get to read comic books and get free comic books, and the whole purpose is for kids to read, not just to look at the fancy pictures. It's just to read, because I'm pretty sure you're all aware that we're moving from books into the digital age, with iPads or Kindles or anything that's digitized reading material. The idea is that you're actually reading a comic book or a book and reading it and enjoying it. You got something physical in your hands that you can turn the page instead of having to tap the screen and scroll or whatever. You're actually reading a comic book. Now, the comic book I just picked up is not one of the free comics, but it's actually from a series of comics that I really have enjoyed. It's called the True Believers series, and these comics are only $1. And I have a bunch of these True Believers comics because it's very rare to find a comic that's $1 or less, because the typical comic book range probably goes between $3 to $5. That's, I'm pretty sure, not including tax, but yeah, it's pretty bizarre to find a comic book that's only $1. And the reason why is because they want people to read these comics. And some of these comics that are in the True Believers series are actually considered rare because some of them are reprints from older comics that have been released from years ago, maybe back in the 60s or the 70s. They do have some reprints from the 2000 period. I really encourage it because I think it's a good way for people to acquire more comics because there's so many good ones out there. When they brought out the Deadpool movie, they brought out a ton of True Believers series comics based on Deadpool from many of his different comic book genres, including his very first appearance. And I actually got that one, and I just really enjoyed that one a lot. He was a little different back then. So if you guys want to check out some free comics or the $1 comics, check out True Believers. But the comic books that I got from the free comics, I got one that was Batman, I got Suicide Squad, Serenity, what was the other one I got? Civil War, and there was another one I got. Oh yeah, Captain America. So yeah, there's a ton of comics. They had other ones that were like Pokemon, Sonic, Superhero Girlfriends or something like that. It was the DC, female characters. And I saw a Grumpy Cat in there. So there was a ton of different options, but I went for the ones that I thought were going to be the most popular, probably going to be sold the most. So I got those. And I got a bunch of these True Believers comics. And this one in particular I really enjoyed because this, my friends, is the very first Star Wars comic book. It's just been redrawn and not really digitized, but just to look better. But basically this is the first Marvel adaptation of a Star Wars comic. And if you guys didn't know at the time, Marvel actually owned Star Wars for a while. Then they went to Dark Horse Comics, and then when Marvel was purchased by Disney, and then Disney got Star Wars came back to Marvel, so now Marvel owns Star Wars again, so they're re-releasing the first issue of the Star Wars comic book. Now, this is redrawn, like I said, so it's supposed to look like the first comic, but it's not because it's been redrawn, but still, it's a good read, and it's funny because in the first panel, the Star Destroyer that they have here, it doesn't look like the normal Star Destroyer, because as we all know, the Star Destroyer is supposed to look like this, when in the comic book, it looks like the Star Destroyer from The Force Awakens. So, they completely missed this portion up here. Yeah, I don't know if that was an error on their part, but I'm looking at it right now, and it literally looks like not the Empire Star Destroyer, but the First Order Star Destroyer. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they got confused and forgot to add this part, but I don't know. It's still pretty cool. Okay, I'm really getting off track here, so I've got to bring it back home. Let's head into issue number 2. Oh, that's actually... Oh, I got another issue or copy of the first... comic of the Haunted Mansion. It's another variant cover. What's actually interesting about this one is that on the cover is this label here that says Authentic Original Disney Parks. On my other 2 comics that I have, which I featured in my first episode, they didn't have this label. So this cover was specifically for the theme parks. So, yeah. You couldn't find this at the comic book stores, only at Disneyland or Walt Disney World. I don't know if they have this at... Paris, because theirs is the Phantom Manor. Who knows? That might be turned into a comic book series. That'd be pretty cool. But as far as I know, this is only being sold at Disneyland. Well, technically, I got this in Disney California Adventure and the Magic Kingdom over in Walt Disney World. So, all right. Now, if I can find my second comic. Oh, it's no, that's not it. That's where's what? What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. All right. So, without further ado, let's move into issue 2 of the Haunted Mansion. And as you can see here, this is the cover. And just very quickly, you might recognize a few of these ghosts. Here is one of the hitchhiking ghosts right here. Here's one of the other ones here. That's the candelabra. And who do you think that is? That, my friends, is the Hatbox Ghost. Yep. So far, I've only seen him appear on the cover of the issue. I hope he comes in later on in the series, but I'll find out sooner or later. But here we go. Issue 2 of the Haunted Mansion. So continuing where we left off in issue 1, our hero is joined by some of the ghosts that Madame Yoda was able to summon, because of her little seance, serpents and spiders, tail of a rat, call in the spirits wherever they're at. Really? Again? And it's at that point he leaves the seance room, and this is a point in the ride where we would hear, the happy haunts have received your sympathetic vibrations and are beginning to materialize. And yes, he does enter into the Great Hall and sees a nice, gigantic banquet or birthday or whatever is going on in there. Basically, a whole ton of ghosts are in the Great Hall. And yes, they are having a party of some sort. They're actually having fun inside the Haunted Mansion. Now, if you haven't seen issue 1, I'll just spoil it right now. Supposedly, these ghosts are supposed to be trapped inside the Haunted Mansion. But technically, they're having a great time. They're having a party. It's here where we meet up with another ghost by the name of Pickwick. Yeah, there's a name for you. If you were to ride the attraction, he's actually the ghost hanging from the chandelier. Yes, that is Pickwick. So be sure to say hello to him when you see him on the Haunted Mansion attraction. But anyways, Pickwick is basically saying, "Welcome, join the party!" And it's just crazy because he looks like a Mad Hatter version of a ghost. And if you guys know the Mad Hatter, he likes to party and have tea and everything. Well, this ghost loves to party! And it's also during this moment when the 2 dueling ghosts decide, hey, let's have a duel! And then Pickwick's like, no, stop! He's not a ghost. And then to himself he goes, but we can make him a ghost. There's always my way. So he basically tells the dueling ghosts to get out of here, get back into her portraits. You're not allowed here right now. Don't shoot anymore, okay? They're like, okay, all right, bye, right here. Basically, yeah, that's what happens there. And moving on. So then Pickwick tells more a little bit about the story of how they're entrapped. There are these ghost-like chains around the door hinges and the windows, basically saying, we are entrapped here. And if he tries to open up the door, a big ball of flame comes in, tries to lick him in the butt. And yeah, he's like, yeah! Which begs the question, how can ghosts really, experience pain? Because I've seen the movie, they don't experience pain, right? He then talks about the backstory to our hero about the Haunted Mansion and how the evil ghost, who happens to be a captain of all things, is supposed to be engaged with Constantine, who is the ghost sprite, who actually appears in the hallway in one of the panels before he gets into the main hallway. ooh, kind of spooky there. But if you guys know the backstory of the, I believe it's the Haunted Mansion in Florida, isn't that supposed to be a captain? Well, the captain in the comic book series, I believe, is supposed to be a tribute to the Florida version. So, yes, Florida, you got your own ghost in our comic book. So, good job, because I think they have like a little graveyard or tombstone with him, right? It's one of their new additions. Well, somewhat new addition because it's old. And then the kid's like, well, you know, that's great. I like hearing about this story, but the only reason I came here to the Haunted Mansion is because I'm looking for my grandfather. He starts moping and remembering the past, and all the ghosts are like, oh, we're so sorry. Well, we can help you, but no, we're going to have a party instead. And the only way to entice our hero into becoming a part of the party is to, I guess in a way, enchant him with music. And what musical instrument do you think is going to enchant him into joining the party? You guessed it, Captain Nemo's organ. It does make an appearance, and I believe, yes, a whole bunch of are they skulls? No. I'm looking at the comic book right here because I'm making sure I'm remembering what I'm supposed to say. It's supposed to be like musical notes, ghostly musical notes exit the organ. And yes, it kind of enchants him in a way because he starts to feel like, oh, maybe this is not so bad after all. I'm getting the groove on. Oh, yeah, this is my jam. Woo! Woo! Now, during this time period, while the music is going on, down below, somewhere, I guess in a sewer, our evil ghost, the captain, is like, oh, this is ridiculous. I'm getting sick of that music. And he actually has a map of how he got to the Haunted Mansion. And believe it or not, one of the places that he visited on the map happens to look much like Skull Rock from Peter Pan. Does that mean this evil captain's Captain Hook? Interesting. If you don't believe me, go and read the comic book yourself. I don't want to get into a copyright infringement. I'll show you guys this image, but it looks like the Skull Rock from Peter Pan, the animated movie. So, yeah, go and find this issue for yourself because it definitely looks like the map from Peter Pan. Maybe he came out in Neverland. I don't know. They probably kicked him out. There's also, I'm looking at it right now, there's also a castle that looks like something it's either Hogwarts Castle or it's a small version of Arendelle. I mean, I don't know. That didn't make sense to me for some reason. It looks more like maybe Dracula's castle, but anyways, there is a pirate ship, though, that he's on, because he's supposed to be a pirate. I forgot to mention that. Okay, so I'm reading the comic here, and they just refer to him as the captain, so I don't see anywhere in here where it says his name, so, yeah. So, it doesn't say what his name is yet, but I'm sure we will get to it at some point. So our hero is basically, you know, getting enchanted with the music, and he's dancing around, and then the ghost, Pickwick, comes in along, and he's like, so, what was the purpose of your visit here to the Haunted Mansion? The kid's like, well, I don't remember. But I'm never leaving! He's basically saying, I'm never leaving the mansion because I want to party! And it says to be continued. Unfortunately, that is the end of the comic book. So yes, basically, we went from the first issue, which was like the front entrance to the Haunted Mansion, to seeing the stretching portraits, to the images on the walls changing, and Madame Leota's seance room. And then the second issue, we never really leave the Grand Hall because that's basically where the whole plot of that segment starts and ends, and we didn't get into the attic, obviously. But they do show an image of the next cover for issue 3, and it has Constantine on the front. The bride ghost. Which means we're probably going to be heading up into the attic at some point. Oh gee. That's going to be a scary one, I think. She's actually in amongst the other ghosts that are dancing around, and her heart is beating. Ooh, scary. And there you go, you guys. That is issue 2 of The Haunted Mansion. And I have to say, I actually enjoyed issue 1 better than issue 2, but it's still a good read, and it's getting me even more excited to find out what happens next in issue 3. So I'm pretty sure I'll be making an issue 3 video soon when that becomes available. And that's pretty much it. So if you guys liked the video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button and... Hold on. I completely forgot to show this. I made another purchase at the comic book store that I forgot to mention. This is a poster. It looks like a baton, or a baton sword. Ouch. What's the poster? Well, let's find out. Ready? Here comes the unveiling. Best way I know how to do it.
Your cadaverless pallor betrays an aura of foreboding, almost as though you sense a disquieting metamorphosis. Is this haunted poster actually stretching? Or is it your imagination?
Yes, I got the Haunted Mansion poster. Woohoo! Now, what am I going to use to keep it down? Now, there we go. There. The Haunted Mansion poster. Very, very cool. So yes, I got myself my first comic book related poster, and it's for the Haunted Mansion Disney Kingdoms. This is supposed to be the cover for issue 1, and it is so cool. Oh my gosh. A big shout out to Earth 2 Comics in Northridge for helping me acquire one of these. That place is awesome. If you live up in the Northridge area looking for a good comic book store, go and check them out. I highly recommend them. And on that note, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button, favorite the video, show your friends, and of course, subscribe to my channel, the Disneyland Video Series. And now, I offer you a chilling challenge to find a way out of this video. Of course. There's always my way. Or you could just wait for the end slate. That's also another possibility. Again, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I hope your day was a magical one. Bye-bye!